Hello everyone! Today we're going to be comparing two beloved Roblox games that are similar to each other, which is Doors and of course Pressure. The categories I will be rating are how the game looks, the replayability of the game, the story, the monster design, and lastly, the sound design. To start off with how each game looks, Chapter 1 is based on a hotel, while Chapter 2 is inside of a mine. Each of these chapters accomplish the aesthetic they're trying to go for very well. The first chapter makes me feel like I'm in a place I shouldn't be and I'm being followed as I try to escape the hotel. The entities also match what I would imagine to be in the hotel, while them being ominous and not really looked at, with just a glimpse of them as you go by. While there is not much variety with levels and rooms you can find, I think it works good for the hotel, giving you a sense of feeling trapped. For chapter 2, you get sent to the mines, where it fills you with a sense of abandonment. It's a different feeling from the first chapter and feels more of a thrill since you already know what is going to happen. This floor often feels dark, and the entities will make you feel like they're everywhere you go any second and you could be attacked. Overall, both the floors have a good design and I appreciate it, and I'm excited to see what could possibly be for floor 3. For Pressure, when you load into the game, you are immediately shown what your purpose is there. You are on a mission to get this crystal and you can only leave when the job is done. For the game, instead of feeling afraid, I feel like more of a spy with a job to do and get out. While in Doors, I felt like I was a victim. Here, I felt like I was expendable but capable. I think the feeling of being underwater was very nice though and unique, and there's a huge variety of rooms which I really enjoyed. It felt like I was always finding new ones and wondering what could I see next, which is something that Doors really did not do for me. Overall, if I had to give a point to either game, I would have to go with Doors. I think it's pretty well designed with how two different floor aesthetics make you still feel like you're playing Doors and gives me a sense of dread, unlike Pressure. I always feel like I have to be on the lookout indoors with a creature popping out at any moment, while in Pressure I feel more confident with more lights on in most rooms. It also helps me feel more confident. Even though the point goes to Doors, I'm not saying Pressure is badly designed, and I think that if Doors only had floor 1, this point would have gone to Pressure. But if Pressure was the update, I think my opinion could change. The replayability of the game is the next topic, which I already think most people know which game will be taking the point here. For Doors, the main aspect of replayability is the modifiers, which can be added to each run to do. Currently, though, there are not modifiers for floor 2, so floor 1 is what we have to base it off of. There are ways to make your game easier, like lights will break less often, or the opposite of making it harder and the lights breaking more often. It gives a variety of what kind of run you would want to do, but that's about it. There are different modes like the back door and floor 2, but once you beat them, you're kind of done with the game. Of course, there's achievements, but this is something that Pressure also have, which gives neither the edge. For Pressure, there are 3 things that I think make replaying worth it. The first is every time you play and die, new lore entries will be unlocked and you'll be able to see these in the lobby of the game. For people who like to read about lore, this gives a new incentive to try to unlock most of it for yourself. The next unlockable thing is collecting money to buy new clothes in the game, which is a nice cosmetic touch to have since you're wearing a jumpsuit, and you can at least choose your own. The last and most important for replayability, I would say though, is that this game actually displays how many times you won, which I can see make people want to grind simply to have the most wins in a lobby. It gives a personal incentive to see the crystal number go up. Overall, with replayability, I would say that Pressure has better. I think Doors could be fun, but slightly modifying the main mode is the only real change that could be done. Once you complete a floor and Doors, there's not really a reason to go back and play it again unless you have a personal challenge. For Pressure, there's a lot of incentives to keep playing, whether you want new lore, different clothes, there's a lot of scene earn. The next criteria we have is the story, and I feel like this is also an unfair one. For Doors, there's not really that much of a story. So far, we know that we have been in a hotel and a mine, and obviously the creatures we have seen. The game itself does not really have any story laid out, but that is the point according to the creator, which says the Doors lore will be slowly developed. You might not get a lot from this floor when talking about floor 2. For Pressure though, this game is filled with lore. Through the intro cutscenes and all your death scenes, which tell you more and more about what is really happening. There's also voice acting, which helps the story move along. Overall, while I may not understand both lore fully, I am able to tell Pressure is filled with a lot more of it. Every run, I feel like I unlock more lore for Pressure, which gives this point to Pressure, obviously. I think in the future, Doors might be able to come back, but I feel like lore isn't their focus right now, while Pressure really embraces it. The next category is one that was really hard for me to rank, which is the monster design. Doors, I feel like, has a very iconic monsters, with ones like Screech or Rush able to be imagined by most people who play. I feel like this was carried over to Floor 2 with the new monsters like the bats and especially the giggles to be very recognizable, but their own entity still to me. They all also feel like unknown things that you might catch a glimpse of, but not a good look, while still having an idea of what they kind of resemble. The bosses are also well designed, with Seek having his own theme and looking similar but not exactly the Screeches, and the Grumble looking like giant giggles, showing somehow that they're all connected but no one knows yet. They all feel like different but still like bosses, which really puts the nail in the coffin for me. For Pressure though, I feel like most of the monsters don't have a personality of their own. Although the designs look good, I feel like there are too many slightly different variations of the Angler, with there I think being 6. I know there are other monsters, like when you go through the wrong door you can be grabbed, as well as the shark that has many eyes, but those are just 2 entities Doors also has, but the only really different one I have seen in my playthroughs is the ships with the spotlight, and while they look cool, they don't really scare me too much. Overall, I feel like Pressure has cool concepts for monsters, like the one that attacks the lockers you're in, but they all just feel like Angler clones to me personally and lack their own identity. With all that said though, I would have to give the better monsters to Doors, with each feeling unique in what they do and good designs that match their purpose. If there were more different monsters than slightly different Angler variations, I feel like Pressure would be able to take the point. But that's not the case here. Maybe in the second chapter for Pressure this could change, but we will only see in time. With both games tied 2-2, the final criteria is the sound design for the game. For Doors, each entity has its own iconic sign and sound when approaching. For Rush, it is the screech it makes, and for Screech, it's a shh. Each are noticeable and do not take that much time to figure out. The giggles, like their name suggests, giggle, which makes it easy to see where they are and avoid them. The noises of the creatures also add to the ambiance, like a Rush from a distance coming after you with the lights breaking at the same time. The music in Doors is also very good, with Seek's theme or the cutscenes each sound good. Overall, it is very easy to tell what is happening, even if you don't exactly know the name of the creature, you can still tell what it does. For Pressure, this game also has great sound design, which is to be expected, but I feel like it's hard to hear what is going on. In Pressure, there's a lot of noises, and all might not be noticeable. With things like the Angler and the variations, the noise isn't too different from each other, and it is harder to hear in the middle of a run. As mentioned before, there also is voice acting, but I'm not sure it is a completely good thing here. In Doors, there are times where I feel afraid and things are too quiet, but in Pressure, there will be someone talking on the megaphone telling me what to do next, which messes with the ambiance sometimes. I feel like the basic noises sound good, like the drawers opening or the doors opening, but both can be set for each game, which gives the edge to none. Overall, I would have to say the better sound design goes to Doors, with each noise reminding me of something and letting me know what I have to do, while in Pressure can cause too much similar noises. While I feel like Doors is a better overall, I do not think Pressure is a bad game in any sense, and I enjoy playing both. I try to be objective for both, and I think if Pressure had a second chapter, this easily could have went to it. While that is not the case for now, maybe a day will come where Pressure will be objectively the winner.